trying to figure out how you ended up getting an invite to this. I'm going to explain that. This isn't everybody that I called. There was 29 people that I invited, and when I started this list, it was people that I've seen more than once or twice out in the community doing something bigger than themselves. It didn't matter about what organization or what affiliation or even what event. It was anybody that was out there actively trying to make this community a better place. That being said, how many people think they might be sitting in a room with at least one other person that doesn't like them? Right? Be honest about it, right? But that's the stuff that has to end around here. I don't care if you personally like the other person. You're not going to accomplish anything with all the dissension, negativity, and nastiness that we've been fighting here. You know, I may not personally like something that somebody's done, but it has nothing to do with their organization that they're representing when they're out in the community. If you read Facebook, just because you associate with a certain group, they will automatically attack anything you're out there doing. And on a total whole picture, that's not good for any of us. You know, we had the Vet Fest, right? And the community support in the Vet Fest, I'm not going to lie, was 100% awesome. You know, everybody did their job sharing the post. You came to the event, they told everybody after they got here, hey, you know, this isn't some run-of-the-mill thing, and more people started coming out of it. The positivity afterwards was even great, because that's going to build us into the next year. Same thing needs to happen for the chamber with the Elk-Fest, or with the Tourism Council for open mic, or whatever the case is. I have absolutely no allegiance to any of the organizations I am in. First comes the vets, then, no.
You have priorities, yeah.
No, first comes the vets for me, then it comes the community, right? I sit in half a dozen organizations. When I walk into a one room, I'm not any of them, I'm Rick, right? And I'm the same person usually everywhere I go. I try really hard to be anyways. But so, I'd love to see more community cooperation. There is not one organization in this town that can claim to be 100% self-sufficient. And it doesn't need to be. If the Tourism Council doesn't have a building, there's no reason they can't reach out to the VFW and use the building. If the chamber needs bodies to work Elk-Fest, there's no reason that they shouldn't feel welcome enough to call the American Legion and say, is there anybody you can send our way? You know, it's got to be a partnership, a cooperation here, or we might as well roll up the sidewalks and call it nothing. The attitudes in communities surrounding this one are so much better, and I don't necessarily think they have anything that we don't. I don't know what got them to the situation that they're in. Like we were at VJ Parade yesterday. The VFW American Legion went over, we marched in with the vets. They had VFW posts from Posen and Hillman and Atlanta and Onaway, right? And it was a really cool atmosphere. You walk down the street, the people are friendly, they're shaking your hand, it's awesome, you know? And there was nothing nasty, negative about it, right? And behind closed doors, I'm sure they have it. But somehow or another, those other communities found a way to shield the people they're trying to target. They found a way to shield them from it. We have the same thing. I don't care if you personally like me, if you don't. I don't care if you hate my guts. But when it's business time, we have to work together. You know, you take Pastor Jim. You're trying to take a church that hasn't had any youth activity in how many years?
Oh, lots of years.
You're out there with your sign. You're doing the baby basket, the food pantry. You've got aspirations to get back into kid stuff. You're actively working to build that. You need help.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Chamber has Elk-Fest coming. I guarantee you guys need help. The VFW and the American Legion. We have all kinds of things in the works, right? Someday I might have to ask you guys for help, and I want to make sure that there's an open door there, that we can start working together and cooperating. And to tell you the truth, I want to see the organizations in this community come together to do one big thing and actually do it. And if it doesn't work after that, I'll walk away from it. I won't ever ask for it again. And I don't care what it is. I don't care if we call it a bridal party. I don't care if we just sit down here and stare at each other. But something is better than nothing. And if anybody's got ideas for that, I'm all ears.
Potluck.
Yeah, I was thinking, have a block party.
Potluck, right. I even got potluck in the park. Yeah, potluck in the park.
whatever, but a potluck, like a block party, I thought that was a fabulous idea. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's just a really neat idea, and just invite everybody.
Yeah.
Bring a dish, doesn't have to be a
And
big
they-
dish, just a dish.
Tourism is chamber, it's
It's
all of
right.
us, it's.
Right.
Yep, it's
Right.
basically an inter-club potluck. Inter-club.
Yeah.
All the club people
Community
say,
organization.
But we need to get the outside, we need to get people outside of those organizations come to it too. And that's when you start recruiting. You know, if you guys, you know, I tell people in my VFW American Legion, if you guys see a guy wearing a vet hat, you need to go shake his hand, you need to talk to him and find out why he's not at our meetings. And a lot of times it's because nobody ever asked him, you know? Or they had a bad experience somewhere else with a veteran, you know, organization. Doesn't mean it was ours, you know, and that's where we benefit, because had they been welcomed where they were at, we would have never stood a chance of getting them. So I'm kind of glad that in some aspects that they got earned and now we got them. You know, the atmosphere, that's my biggest thing here. I don't know where all the dissension came from. It's probably years and years and years, and it was probably longer than I've been alive. But this is the line in the sand. This is where we all start moving forward at the same pace in the same direction at the same time. And if we can't do it, at least we need to own up to it and tell everybody we can.
I think they're bigger than that, I think we can do it.
I know we
I
can.
mean, you don't forget what's happened, but if we're all striving for the betterment of our community, how can we not do better united than apart?
You know, half of the group that was supposed to be here today isn't here. And I'll tell you right now, it's because they personally do not like me right now. Has nothing to do with any of the organizations I'm in. They personally do not like me right now. When I wrote my list, I knew that the better than half of them had a reason to dislike me. Some of them valid, some of them not. But when it comes to an organizational thing, it's not personal. It's business, it's community.
Don't have to be best friends to do it all.
No.
You don't.
And you don't have to agree.
It's absolutely.
I get along with Bill.
You do, I do.
Now, do we know who everybody's from? Or I'm kind of new, so I've
Well,
seen some.
why don't we do that?
Let's do introduction.
Why don't we, starting with you, and we'll work around you, why don't everybody introduce who they are and who they're representing?
Okay, I'm Jim Coran. I'm the pastor of the church across the old elementary school.
Congregations?
Yeah, it's Atlantic Congregation of the United
Or
Church.
unless you read it wrong, it's congressional.
Sorry. Turn into that.
Mr. Dunn, you want to keep that going?
I'm Jim Dutton, I'm with the Chamber of Commerce. I just joined the board this spring when I heard they were going to be short of people before I'm like, well, I'll go help. Dad, and I ran across him and he told me he'd go over there and help. I said, okay.
You want to know the truth of that? My own self personally at the time, I had a chip on my shoulder about the Chamber of Commerce. Not well deserved. They did not deserve the reason I had the chip. I just had a chip on my shoulder. But when I found out they were struggling, anybody that walked in the door of the shop that I thought could be a benefit, I told them, go see them. You know, and I'm really glad you did. Thank you. Mr. Lamore?
Thank you. Good.
Yeah, I'm Phil Lamore. My wife and I own the Atlanta Hotel. That's my wife, Margaret. She'll introduce herself. I sit on the Montmorency EDC for the state of Michigan. And we're, this gentleman here, Mr. Dunn, is leading one of the things that's going out from the EDC this week. It's going out to all of the townships, going out to all governmental agencies in the area. It's going out to the chambers, it's going out to realtors and other people, and it's about exactly what we're talking about. So I'll talk more about this and I want to hear that when we introduce each other.
Mrs. Lamore?
I'm Marva, his wife. Phil, no.
You're more than that.
I know I am, you're right.
And
And,
your husband.
let's see, yeah, he's my husband. Gosh, we've been here 12 years, we've seen a lot of ups and downs, we've seen the changes, we've been involved in a lot of change, and for good or bad, we've been involved in a lot of it. Rick made a really good point when he said, that your organization can be hurt by who you are. Not, you're not hurt, I suppose, because we were involved in the chamber at a time when our local government wasn't at its best. And they attacked the chamber and attacked us personally. And actually, and I'm just gonna say it outright, it put me in a place that no one ever wants to be. No, ever. To be attacked in such a vicious way wasn't necessary. However, I'll be back, baby. And it's good. And I see this as being a really positive place to be, a positive thing to do. We've done some really, I'm gonna shut up now.
No, that's good.
You guys left out that be very positive. Go ahead.
There are some really good people that we've been talking to with some fabulous ideas that would never have occurred to any of us.
See, that's what we
You
need
know?
to do, is
And they're
share
not-
our ideas.
Exactly, absolutely right. And I'm gonna go one step, and I know you all know that the chamber is in a situation where it does need to come up with a good sum of money to keep the building that they're in. If you're not aware, I'll make you aware. And I've been talking to a lot of people of ways to do that. And a couple of ideas that I think could be possible. And I believe it is possible. And if we can all unite to accomplish that goal, that would be awesome.
Well, that's where it's one team, one fight.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Not one of us can survive without the other one.
And I don't see it costing anybody anything out of their pocket. I see it costing some time.
Well, if you need help, this is the group.
So, that's
We
right.
want, we're
Yes,
the
you
people
do,
that
yes.
always show up. We're the
Yeah.
movers and
We are.
shakers,
That's-
always.
If you'd like to introduce yourself.
I'm Mary Dugas, I am secretary of the chamber. And we're having a hard time keeping a board lately, since Kevin passed away. He was a fantastic president, and nobody realizes how much work goes into it.
Oh, yeah, you
No,
don't
no,
tell
yeah,
me.
tell me.
Yeah. But we're hanging in there.
Mrs. Wojo.
I don't even know what to say.
Just
Your name.
Hey, if you've ever
I'm
seen
Deb
something
Wojo.
happen in the community and you couldn't figure out why, especially like PTSO and that kind of stuff, it's probably because she did it. I wouldn't even have pictures of my kids playing sports if it wasn't for her at every football game, up and down the sidelines, taking pictures. She puts herself in a book fair every year. Recently, she's been putting herself into VFW and American Legion. Yesterday, she was in the Vet Fest parade. She's pretty much keeps me on point because I try to take on the world, and sometimes I forget where I'm supposed to be or what I'm supposed to be doing, and she keeps me on task.
I really do. So, focus. Thank you, because I didn't know who I was.
I'm Pat Kirk. I'm a member of the American Legion, or I soon will be. Don't tell me what it is still. I work at the VFW. I volunteer. I just do what I can to help.
And a creative,
Oh, very
talented
Thank
person.
you.
Yes.
But I'd like to see our community move forward. I've heard all the bickering and the this and that, and everybody in here has a talent, and we all want the same thing. We want it to be better. And the best way is to work together.
Bob?
Bob Seagren, I just moved to the area just under 2 months ago, and Chris got me active in the VFW here and kind of getting more active in the community as we go on, so.
And he has a great laugh.
Jay?
Jay Street, I'm the park attendant here, and most recently the bike guy, bike officer.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Tough
That's it.
no, they're like the.
You're laughing.
God.
Also putting in a bunch of.
I've seen-
veteran organizations
I've seen Jay
around
step to
too.
the plate on anything he's ever touched.
Yeah.
He won't say it, but Vet Fest, we couldn't have done it without him doing what he did. When it came to kid stuff that I've worked on in the past, whether it was hayride up on the rec property or you know, anything for the kids, really, he's always there. You know, I've watched this guy spend his own money. I've watched him use his own tools and equipment to make something happen.
Same with Elfest, he
Yeah.
overruled other people to make Elfest a better.
Yeah, well, and I mean, honestly, every organization needs a Jay. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to share this, Jay, until we figure out how to clone him. But if you guys need him, I think I can be like his registered pet. You know, just call me and I'll do it. Hank?
Henry Newberry, we've helped out with an organization or two, and I just came to see how well Rick can pull everybody together, because...
No, it's not what I can pull together. This has to be a group effort.
That's good. Good to have you here, very good.
Henry?
Henry Newberry, yeah.
Larry?
Yeah, I'm the retired mayor of Atlanta.
Yeah, you say retired or retarded?
Both. I was the chairman of the interviewing committee for the Eagles for quite a few years. And I moved up here from Garden City, we call it Garden City. But anyway, it just seems that everything is changing up here so fast, and I agree with what it says here. Nobody wants to communicate anymore. Everybody's got their own ideal. I love that ideal about having this block party. I think it would be great to try and get everybody together and work as one. No matter what committee you're on or what committee you're not on. We need cooperation here. Everything is in turmoil in Blythe Township, in my eyes, and a whole lot of other people's eyes. That needs to stop, you know. And I'm here to support Rick. I think he's got a lot of good ideals, and I love this block party deal. If people want to do that, I'll put an ad in the paper, you know, whatever is necessary.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Laura?
I'm Laura Zucke. We moved up here about a year ago, and we tend to be volunteers. We don't belong to any group, really.
You're American Legion, no, yeah?
No,
VFW.
we're VFW, Central Auxiliary downstate, but we're not, there's no auxiliary up here.
Oh, you're still.
But anyway, yeah, we tend to volunteer wherever. At least we did downstate, and up here, not trying to be true, but y'all are ugly to each other, and it's uncomfortable to volunteer and feel like I feel like it's high school, like I can't sit with this group because that group.
Right.
It's just, and I know we're new and we're from the outside, but it's like, wow, guys, just breathe and just try to be kind to each other, even when somebody's not standing next to you. It's just hard. It's hard to want to join in when it's like that. It's just hard. I'm just saying. I know that sounds really critical, but it's hard.
No.
Well, that's the kind of
It
stuff
chases
we need
people
to
away.
hear.
Yeah,
Some of us
it's very
might have been here too
off-putting.
long and forgot.
And you all know each other, and I know you get history and everything, but and you don't necessarily
Yeah,
know
what happened, geez.
what your history is, and I get that, but it's like, oh, can you just breathe and let it go, and make it be, it's supposed to be fun when you volunteer. I mean, we work with nonprofits downstate, your volunteers are freaking liquid gold. They're who you need, and if they're not feeling like it's a good, positive place to be, they don't want to volunteer with you. So.
The first time I met her and her husband, we were working Outfest food, the VFW food wagon at Outfest. They just walked up. You guys want some help? Okay, who the hell's gonna argue with that, right? Get in here and get in the sweat box. And honestly, they have never let us down on anything they've ever helped us with. It's been awesome. Mr. Roberts, would you introduce yourself?
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh,
This is
Ken
my better
Zilke,
half.
I'm sorry.
Ken Zilke, hi everyone. Not going to say much because I think everybody said it, so. Go, Pastor.
My name is Paul Roberts, representing the American Legion, and I've been in this community for about 20 years. And I'll tell you folks, I love this place. I love the people here. Beautiful. And I know there's animosity between people on occasion. We're all human. We're all human. But it's time, in a small community like this, there shouldn't be any reason why all these groups can't work together. There's just no reason for it. It's just a fact of human nature. We just gotta put aside our concerns and look to the people to see what we can do to help, to benefit this community, to lift this community up. That's the thing I see.
Yeah, cut each other a little slack, you know, grant a little grace to one another. We're just people. We're all gonna make mistakes and not me. God, all God is, hail God is God. Come here.
So, now that everybody knows who we all are, oh, Mr. Street.
Mr. Street.
Why don't you introduce yourself to the group?
John Street, this is my son Jay.
He is the best VFW potato peeler that we've ever had. So when he was in the Navy, I guarantee you he was in trouble a lot. Bruno, you snuck in, I didn't see you. Would you introduce yourself to the group and tell them what you want to do or who you represent?
I'm Bruno Lobchick, Township Supervisor, here to do whatever we can.
Yay, well, I'm glad you came. I'm glad you did. Thank you.
Did everybody right?
Craig Smith, please introduce yourself.
You just did.
Behind the camera.
This guy, my next door neighbor, he's awesome. And he stepped to the plate for VFW, the American Legion. Vet Fest happened because of him. He's been the driving force in trying to get me to actually grow up, I think. And I don't know that that's actually going to be an accomplishment if he gets it, because, you know, I don't really want to have to grow up. But, you know, it was one of those things that, even on a personal level, you know, when he first moved back into his house next door, I sat there and I looked at it and I said, you know, why am I supposed to like this guy? And right off the get, right, I was making the same mistake that most every organization or every person in this room can say that they've done. And you never openly do it, you know. You judge, you make it a, you know, a determination before you've ever given anybody a chance. And to tell you the truth, I was 100% wrong. I can't be happier than the neighbors I have right now. I think on our block, you know, we have bonfires, we hang out, and we do everything together. It's almost like our own little mob. You know, we're either in the VFW, we're doing something Legion, we're at VJ Parade. Yesterday we set up a GP Medium Army tent. That doesn't sound like much fun to people, but for me it was awesome and kind of really dug it, and then I got a good nap out of the deal, so it all works. But, you know, we got to start taking, we got to start working, branching out. If somebody needs help, call somebody. Don't be afraid of reaching out. Don't be afraid to ask for help. And we have to stop judging each other on past problems. We have to move forward. And like I said, I don't care if you necessarily like that person, but I guarantee you nobody sitting in this room wants something to fail. So if you ask them for help and they can do it, they'll be there. I know every single one of you sitting here. That's why I was the one that called you, or I came face to face with you and invited you to be here. And there's more of us out there. You know, this was a group off the top of my head. You guys all know in your own organizations or in your own circles who the group is that you're running with. Start bringing those groups to the table with everybody else. You know, and eventually, if we can show a good front, I think our recruiting for our organizations can get better, our events can get better, and we might find that block party that we all get together and we say, this is a line in the sand, enough is enough.
Yeah, one of the problems with recruiting for any organization in a small town is, like right now, in that concession stand at the fireworks, there was Susan and Mary and I.
Yeah.
Okay, running our butts off.
Yeah.
When you get somebody who volunteers for a group like that and they don't get enough volunteers, you do that to them. No, they got me. I end up doing a lot of stuff because our group of help is so limited.
Right.
You know, Mary runs her butt out all week because we're so limited. So we have to get enough people to volunteer for an event that we don't knock them down.
Oh, right. Well, see, that's the whole thing. That's where